I gotta read this. I gotta read this. I found this great article called A Critical Self, and it's by Alan Cohen, and he is in Haiku, Hawaii. Oh my gosh, just the fact that it's called haiku. Beautiful. Okay, so, and it reads, during an overnight airplane flight, I perused the entertainment sections and discovered the audiobook Fire Starter Sessions by Danielle Laporte. I liked what I heard and found Miss Laporte to be an articulate, poetic exponent of living a juicy, authentic life. She had my attention. First of all, I love ending that paragraph with that sentence. It's great. This is really cool. Please listen up. One of the ways to recognize your talent and passion. And we all want to live well, and we all want to live by our passion, don't we? We want to feel good about life, have something to wake up to in the morning, have something to feel like it's motivating us in the morning, that fire in your loins, that passion that makes life worth living. One of the ways to recognize your talents and passions, Laporte suggests, is to consider what other people have criticized you for. So they have an example in here. Humor writer Dave Barry in junior high school kept getting sent out of the class because he was the class clown. The teacher, and I don't know what world she was living in, said, "You'd better get serious, Dave Barry. You can't earn a living making people laugh." 5 decades later, Barry's weekly column is syndicated to over 500 newspapers. He's written 30 popular books. The New York Times dubbed him the funniest man in America. Now, not just because the New York Times says it means it's true, but obviously this man has put 50 years of his life into doing something he loves, and he's getting recognized for it. So he also won a Pulitzer Prize. The Dog Whisperer, I really like this one. Cesar Millan, he was shy and unpopular as a child, and he was teased by his friends for spending too much time with dogs. They nicknamed him El Porrero. I don't really speak Spanish, but it means dog boy. And then he's starred in wildly successful television series and broadcast in 80 countries. He's wrote 5 bestsellers. He has a line of pet products, and he established a dog sanctuary, a few of them, and he's donated large sums of money to charities. Einstein always got chastised for, daydreaming in class, and he later on went on to say this famous quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." And so I want to read this paragraph here. Let's reframe the verbal and emotional arrows that others cast at you for not fitting in. Very key. Let's reframe the verbal and emotional arrows that others cast at you for not fitting in and regard them as arrows pointing you in the direction you were born to walk. So everything that everyone says about you, why are you always wearing all those crazy outfits? Why are you always doing your hair in that crazy way? Why are you always acting like you're posing in front of a camera? Why are you so dramatic? Maybe you're meant to be an actor. Maybe you're meant to be in the theater. Maybe you're meant to be designing clothes or styling other people. Maybe you're going to be a visual artist. There's so many untapped resources in those criticisms. Jonathan Swift said, when a true genius appears in the world, you may know him by this sign that the dunces are all in confederacy against him. Kind of reminds me of high school. Great spirits have always encountered violent resistance from mediocre minds, and that's what Einstein said. So they go on to say another way to appreciate your holy weirdness. I love that holy weirdness. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this. Is to recognize that your biggest challenges can become your most helpful assets. Nearly all successful teachers have risen to greatness by passing along the skills they gain through overcoming their undesirable traits. The founders of Alcoholics Anonymous had to get beyond their own drinking problems. Weight loss teachers were overweight. Yoga teachers were stressed out. Relationship gurus have had bad marriages, and on and on. The biggest problems offer you the most fertile opportunities for personal transformation and service to others. Okay, let's go on. Don't criticize yourself for the problems or apologize for them. I think that's a big issue. We constantly find ourselves saying the words, I'm sorry. What are we sorry for? We bump into somebody on the train, we're sorry. I think that you really need to tone down your personality. Oh, I'm sorry about that. No, I'm not sorry anymore. People need to grab their self-worth by the balls and really take it for what it is. This is who you are. This is naturally who you choose to be. So do it. So be it. So live it. You will gain far more by authenticity. Screw that. You will gain far more by authenticity than by conformity. You will gain more by being your unique self than by trying to be like everybody else. Because that's not who God made you to be. You're utterly unique. Conformity is safe but boring. Oh my God, shoot me. Shoot me now if it's boring. Realness is risky but empowering. Alan Cohen says that after he gave a lecture, one of the audience members came up to him and said, I took a course in public speaking, and as I observed you in giving your talk, you violated 8 of the 10 rules of public speaking. But all of the speakers I've heard, you're my favorite because you're the most authentic. And he said he took the audience member's statement as a compliment. And then he said, I didn't ask him which rules I broke. I refused to spoil my career with training. This is the way I feel about being a journalist, and this is the way I feel about, not only being a blogger, but a video journalist. I don't really care what the rules are. Like, this whole camera angle is probably really, really not good, probably not acceptable. I mean, I understand that the rules for YouTube videos are a lot more relaxed than what it is for television. But even when it comes to writing, again, blogging, you can kind of do your own thing. But writing for newspapers and producing, my own show for local television, I mean, they had these certain standards and rules that I understand why they had them, because they want to maintain a certain standard. But for me, I'm all about content. I'm about creativity. I'm about doing things on the fly. And I think that that's why my professional development and ethics classes are always a little bit more difficult for me in school right now, because if you're talking about something that's not necessarily set in stone, then I don't see how you can tell me what is right or wrong in this situation. I don't think it's disgusting that people give hand jobs at the end of their massages. I don't think that that's gross. I don't have a visceral reaction to that. It may be illegal, but it doesn't mean that it should have such a negative connotation attached to it. And that's just the way that I think. And so in school, I believe sometimes they try to instill you, one of the professors said, if you look up massage on the internet, the results you'll find disgusting. And I said, well, in my mind, that says a lot about her relationship to sexuality. And that's all I can say, because massage, there's many parts of the body that can be massaged for health benefits that we just don't study in school. And I understand the reasons why, but you can't call it negative. You can't call it disgusting, or you can, but I just don't agree with it. So moving on. The article goes on to say, I know many people who have either quit or been fired from so-called straight jobs because they couldn't survive as a cubicle dweller. Then they went on to become successful entrepreneurs selling unique products and services they would have never developed if they remained in their cube. Sherry Baxter became sick living and working in the rainy Northwest. She contracted seasonal affect disorder, and finding her way back to health, Sherry discovered full spectrum light bulbs that compensate for a lack of natural sunlight. As a result, she now has a thriving business, biolight.com. I'm actually going to look into that. Providing seasonal affect disorder sufferers with the products that help revive her. So you see, you can be like an amazing person. You can be an amazing person and you don't have to fit in with everybody else. In the New Testament, we are told that Jesus told a sick person, this is not an illness unto death, but unto greater life. Thus, we might regard the barbs and pains you have been dealt for not fitting into the cookie cutter mold. The mold is appropriate for some cookies, but not for all. So I love having these conversations about breaking the mold and just doing what you want to do. It's very empowering. It says, A Course in Miracles asks us to remember, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved, and then let me recognize that the problem has been solved. Every experience is a gift, including criticism. If criticism is valid, you can take the feedback and improve. If it is not valid, affirm your strength and your purpose. To the contrary, thank the world for criticism. It is your arrow to positive destiny. No, I have not been drinking. I am just like speaking really fast, and I feel like my mind is moving faster than my mouth can interpret. I'm really excited about what I'm reading. Woo, somebody told me I'm fire. I don't know. I thought it was an air sign. I thought it was an earth sign. I thought it was every other sign except water. But you know what? Fire, that's kind of starting to make sense to me. So, that was a great article. I will put the name of the article and the author of that article and the book that he was referring to. All of that goes down below, baby. And I just thank you for listening. This video is running a little bit long for what I wanted it to be, so I'm going to cut it off right here. But